back through time, down across the moors in England. And we see the road, and we see the hills, and we see the trees, and we see the moon, and the inn, the crossroads, and the wind. This is The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor. And the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doeskin. They fitted with nary a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewel that twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clanged in the dark inn yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. Then he whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. And dark in the dark old inn yard, a stable wicket creaked, where Tim, the ostler, listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness. His hair like mouldy hay. For he loved the landlord's daughter. The landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, as he heard the robber say, "One kiss, me bonny sweetheart. I'm after a prize tonight, for I shall be home with the yellow gold afore the morning light. Yet, if they tarry me sharply and harry me through the day, watch for me by moonlight. Look for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." He rose upright in his stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair in the casement, and his face burned like a brand as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he turned his horse in the moonlight and galloped away to the west. Now, he did not come in the dawning. He did not come in the noon. But out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door. They spoke no word to the landlord. They drank his ale instead. And they gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two of them knelt at her casement with muskets at their side. There was death at every window and hell at one dark window, for Bess could see to her casement the road that he would ride. They tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest, and they bound a musket beside her with its barrel beneath her breast. "Now, keep good watch." And they kissed her. And she heard the doomed man say, "Watch for me by moonlight. Look for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat or blood. She stretched and strained in the darkness. The hours crawled by like years till now, on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger, at least, was hers. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up, she stood to attention, with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing. She would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight. And the blood of her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Had they heard it? Those horse hooves ringing clear. In the distance were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the river in the moonlight? No, over the brow of the hill the highwaymen came riding, riding, riding. The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up straight and still. In the frosty silence, in the echoing night, nearer he came and nearer. Her face shone like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She took one last deep breath, and her finger moved in the moonlight. The musket scattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred to the west. He did not know who stood, bowed with her head o'er the musket, drenched in her own red blood. Not till the dawn did he hear it. Hey? And his face grew grey to hear how best the landlord's daughter? Nay, nay, the landlord's black-eyed daughter had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. But he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him, and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine red was his velvet coat, when they shot him down in the highway. Down like a dog in the highway. And he lay in his blood on the highway, with a bunch of lace at his throat. But still, on a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, and the moon is a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, a highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. A highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark inn yard, and he taps with his whip on the shutters, but all is locked and barred. Then he whistles a tune to the window. And who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bass, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black